Hi y'all, this is the Sugar Scoop. I'm Shelby Bauer, and today we're going to be making an awesome monster eye out of sugar and edible materials. So I'm starting off with a circle. I just found the circle kind of like some object that was the right shape. I traced it with an edible marker, and then I'm getting my poppy paints ready. I really like using poppy paints to do eyes because it dries really fast, and that's really important when you're going to be covering it with Isomalt. So this is edible paper from Icing Images, and I'm just going to be going over it with making a cross and then filling those crosses in so you have those lines that you can see in your eyes. And I'm starting off with green and then just adding a little bit of blue. You can do whatever color you want to do. And I'm staying inside my circle because my circle is a little bit large, so I'm going to be cutting it down a little bit. It just depends on what mold you're going to be using. The mold I'm using, I made myself. I'll put a link up in the top right corner of my mold making process. But I just made a mold of an oversized marble, and I love this size for making monster eyes. So you want to go over the outside rim of I guess this is the iris, and darken it because that's the way it looks. And make sure to work in lines when you work on eyes, because that's how eyes naturally look. And you want to add darker colors and lighter colors and really play around, and it's really good to have a reference. I just kind of build up the color towards the center, trying to keep the center light, and then adding a little bit of detail in there. It's important to go over the center with a little bit of white paint just to kind of bring it out a little bit more, and you can even go over the white paint with some more color. Now I decided to go around and add a little bit of pops of other colors, like a little bit of orange, and I think that really helped a lot and made it look more interesting. So now I'm just going to go through and add some white lines to just kind of go over and make it look a little bit more finished, and brightening up that center. Now I'm making gold, so don't pour gold right over everything because you'll spill it everywhere like I did, but I'm using Rollcom Gold, and I added lemon extract to it, and I'm just going to kind of hit it with a little bit of a kind of splayed out brush to make little dots like you see in your eyes, and then I make little lines to kind of bring out all the color. And this gold reacts so pretty with the Isomalt. Then I'm going to make the pupil out of just black poppy paint. You can use black food coloring or food coloring for all of this, but the poppy paint dries so fast, so you can pretty much instantly cover it in Isomalt, which is great. So we have our finished eyeball, and I'm just going to cut around the very outside to make a clean edge, and I'm trying to do more of an almond shape. You know, you can you can definitely make a better guide, but I'm happy with the way this shape turned out. I think it looks like a monster eye. Now I'm going to take my semi-Isomalt, and I'm going to melt it down according to her directions. And then I'm going to pour a little bit of clear in the bottom of my mold. And you can see my mold is kind of a bigger eye. It was an oversized marble. I'm going to put my circle inside of it and hit it with a ball tool just to make sure it's totally covered, because we're going to use a separate color for the back. I used a little bit of pearl, and you want to put your airbrush color in and then let it bubble, because that's all the moisture kind of getting out of it. And I used pink pearl and white pearl to make kind of an interesting back color for the eye, and then I poured that in, and then just tried to pop my bubbles and kind of swirl it around so it gets that pearl really shining through. And then I let it set until it's totally cool, because otherwise it'll warp. And then you hit the top of it with your torch to bring out the eyeball. And then I coat it after it's cooled down again with my confectioner's glaze to protect it. And you want to do this on both sides of the eyeball, the back as well, so that it doesn't get moisture into it. And then I hit it with a little bit of shimmery edible dust. I think I used Roxy dust. I'll put a link down below. And my eyeball is done. Turned out super cool. And I'm going to be using this in my book tutorial. I will post a link on the top right corner so you can see how I incorporated this into my magical spell book. Thank you guys for watching. If you follow this tutorial, I would love to see your photos. You can tag me at The Sugar Scoop on Instagram. Thank you guys so much for watching, and definitely like and subscribe.